Welcome back to another episode of JC Diaz Uncensored. The N word. Should other minorities, other than black people, should they be allowed to say the N word? Um, to be able to explain and talk about this controversial word, right? We should be able to. We should go back to the history and the origin of the word. I found this video online, and I'm going to play the video first for you guys, and then we'll discuss and talk about that infamous word, the N word. So go ahead and play the video, and we'll be right back.
Are you black?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm Cuban.
Oh.
Good. Let's go to bear.
I just heard you said my like.
Nah, Guichi, bye.
Huh?
Guichi, Cuban, born and raised in Cuba.
No, you said though.
Yeah, I say that word. Yeah, I say. Yeah.
Why though?
You're not from me? That's how. Are you recording me? That's crazy. You're weird as hell for that.
Yeah.
But alright, in Miami, I'll explain this. In Miami, every Cuban, so we don't get heat with it.
I'm gonna tell you something though. You should not say that word though.
No,
I mean, bro,
our
shouldn't
our
say
grandma's full black.
But y'all not black though.
Nah, I don't
So you
know.
shouldn't say it. Like if there was a Cuban slang or slur, I would never say
That's how
that.
Cubans say it. We say it was, but it's.
Hey. You guys have cigarettes?
Nah, he got one. Oh,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait, what did they say?
He was like, I'm just telling you, it's not cool.
I mean, it's not about a matter of being cool. Like, nobody tells
I'm
me
just
shit
saying,
about
it's
it.
disrespectful though
To who?
to black people.
So why do the black people here not get if I
Who
say
else
it?
is black? What
No, not here. I'm saying wherever I say
Because
it.
they're stupid.
Oh, so everyone else is stupid, but you're not. That's what I'm hearing.
The black people
So
who
you
think
sound
it's
racist.
okay
So
for you
no,
to say,
up because you're saying the black people that say it's okay when you say it.
I'm black.
Okay, but the black people here say it's okay when I say it.
They can't give
Because
you
I
a
come
pass.
from a minority, actually a bigger minority than you.
They can't give you a pass.
But I'm a bigger minority.
What's a
than
bigger
you.
minority?
Cubans? This big. We're a little island this big.
Y'all run Miami. Y'all the majority.
Don't matter.
Miami is 70%
Minority.
Spanish.
Yeah,
We're the
not
minority.
Cuban. There's more blacks than Cubans in
Just
Miami.
don't say the word. That's all
I'm
I'm
gonna say
saying.
the word and nothing you gonna do about it. If you want, you could do something about it. Because nobody else got an issue with it.
I have an issue with it.
It's just you.
Yeah, but
You're not
we're
even
friends
with
black
to
people.
be honest,
It's
you're like
not-
a light skin. You coming
It's
into my
not- it's
spot,
not
you
a-
telling me
it's-
what I
it's
can and
light
can't
skin's
say.
not black?
Yeah, I kinda hope people
It's
say
not.
this,
It's not.
Why do you feel comfortable saying?
because I'm a bigger minority than you. I'm Hispanic.
You're not
I do a lot of
dark enough
business
to
with
say
black.
That's
You're
not
dark.
what I'm
No,
trying
but
to
like,
say.
what are you
black.
talking about? Like,
He's
like,
not
it's
black,
crazy.
bro.
I don't
Like,
need to
no,
be
no,
black.
no, we're
Crazy,
just trying to make
though.
you understand. Like,
I don't
Cubans
need
are
to be
not
black.
black
but you-
unless
but-
you're
but you're not-
Afro-Cuban.
but
You're
like-
definitely not Afro-Cuban.
we're Afro-Cuban.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
Afro-Cuban. We're Afro-Cuban.
No,
We're
wait,
Afro-Cuban.
wait,
We're
wait,
Afro-Cuban.
wait,
Like,
wait.
you're saying I
Hold on,
can't
my
say
my great grandfather's
I'm saying just don't say the word.
Yeah, but I'm Afro-Cuban. I like all half of my friends.
Yo, you don't get to say the word because
No.
because
Because
you're
I'm
not black, bro.
Yes, yeah, but like that's.
Are you the guy
I'm
on
the guy
TikTok?
with wealth.
I like this guy too, bro.
All right, guys. So I'm back. So as you guys watched on this video that we just played, right? Two individuals are walking on the street, and a gentleman with a camera, who is he's an influencer. I can't remember his name right now. He overheard when they were having a conversation. They were saying the N word, right? And he asked, he will call the guys and say, did I hear you say the N word? And he said, yeah, we don't have a problem here. We say the N word all the time. And, you know, black people don't have a problem with it. And the guy, you guys saw the video, right? So I guess in order to understand the N word or how offensive it is for, especially for African Americans, right? I think we will have to understand the origin of this word, right? Let's start with a history. And I pulled a little bit of I pulled a summary which explains the origin of the N word, right? And I'll read it for you guys. So the N word, the word originated from the Latin Niger, which means black, right? Entering English in the 16th century as Neger or Niger, a relatively neutral descriptor for dark-skinned individuals or black people, right? So early usage in the American colonies, such as by John Rolfe in 1619, used terms like negars to describe African slaves without necessarily carrying the intense vitriol the word later acquired. So the origin of the word, the N word, is original from, it's a Latin word, right? And it's a word that came from a French word. It's Latin and French, and then eventually it will make it to the English language. Um, Now, should other minorities other than black people be allowed to say the N word? Me, in my personal opinion, right? I think is more a question of context, right? So if you are a minority and you live in the United States, and let's say you're Cuban, you are Dominican, or you are, Asian or whatever, I think that the word should not be used at all. The word should not be used by African Americans either. It should be banned. It should be done with. Like, it should not be used. And the reason why is because of the offensive offensive origin of the word. This word was used to call former slaves in a pejorative way, in a bad way, to offend them. And I believe that it should be a word that is no longer used if we are wanting to move on from racism and from all these negative things that causes division between all races. Now, within the all the minorities, I don't see the problem. Like, if you use it, why can a Dominican person use it when they're minorities? The only difference is Dominicans, especially black Dominicans, were dropped off as slaves before they were dropped off in the United States. And same thing with Cubans, and same things with Asians. Were also slaves at some point. And if we are going to ban the word, it should be banned for everybody. Nobody should use that word. And that way we will save ourselves the problems, right? Some people use it and they think that it is in a friendly way, but African Americans get offended because they don't like it. And since it's such an offensive word, especially for African Americans, because we all know what they went through in during slavery, and I believe that the word should not be used. But I also believe the word should not be used by African Americans either. It should not be used at all. If we are going to ban the word, it should be banned from all races. Nobody should use it and should bury it. And that way we move on from racism, from all that. And I understand I'm going to get some feedback about this, because some people are going to say, so you're wanting us to forget our history. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you have to forget your history. What I'm saying is you can still remember your history, but if this word is so negative, why do we hear this word? Why do you guys, especially African Americans, why do you keep bringing it up? Why do you say it all the time? And we hear the N word in music, we hear the N word in movies, and we hear just regular people on the street, we hear them all the time. But if somebody else says the N word, they get mad. Now, I can see and understand if a white person says it because they were the perpetrators of slavery. I can see why, I can understand why African Americans will be offended by that word. But if a person like me from Dominican origin says the N word within the context that we're still using that word, I don't see why an African American will be offended, because even though I am Dominican, my skin color is still black. I am still descendant of, you know, I'm still the descendant of African roots, right? Even though we were dropped off first in the island, and we do have mixed Spanish mix in Dominican Republic, but that doesn't mean that we we didn't we didn't experience our ancestors didn't experience slavery back in the day, and within the context that we're still able to use the word. I don't see why it should be an issue. Like if a Cuban says it, if Dominican says it, within that context. Now, within the context of saying, okay, we're going to ban the word because it's not a good word at all, nobody should say it. So I don't know if you guys can understand what I'm saying. I know that I'll get some feedback about this because this is a very controversial subject, the N word. But I can kind of understand what you saw in the video especially with the Cuban young man, and where he says, black people don't have a problem when I say it. They never say anything about it. So why is it a problem with you? Which falls back into the same issue that I was talking about. If we are to ban the word, it should be banned for everybody. Nobody should use that word, and we move on from it, and that's it. We fix the issue. Now, if it's going to continue to be used, other than white people, all minorities, it shouldn't be a problem if they use it. Especially if they say it with an A at the end and not in an offensive way, with the R. Like if you say with the hard R, we all know that it don't matter where you are from. You're trying to say it in an offensive way. Now, if you say it with an A at the end, that's a different story. You're being friendly, you're just saying, hey, what's up? It's like saying dude, right? So I guess what I'm trying to get is it depends. We have to put this into context, right? If we are going to ban the word, then we should ban it for everybody. Music, you shouldn't play it in music, you shouldn't play it in movies, you shouldn't say it. But if we're going to continue to allow it, I don't see an issue with other minorities using that word. Definitely white people cannot use it. I don't care what anybody says. White people cannot use the N word. But other minorities, I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem with it. So I just wanted to bring this short video and talk about the N word, the origins. We know the N word came from it's Latin. Like, for example, in Dominican Republic, they call us negro, which is pretty much the same, but in Spanish, but it's not meant to be offensive or nothing. It's actually saying like dear or saying love, it's kind of like the same. But everybody's different. Every culture is different, and we understand that. I just don't feel like if we are going to continue to use the word, then minorities should be okay with saying it as long as they don't say it with an R. If they say it with an A, it's fine. So, and you guys understand what I'm saying. Now, the only group that is not allowed to say it is the white people, because of the history, and they were the perpetrators of slavery. And we can definitely see why an African American will get upset if a white person will say the N word. Definitely can see it. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. This is JC Diaz Uncensored. I hope you guys are good for the rest of the day. Take care. I'll see you on another video. Thank you. Bye.